Have you ever wandered the halls of a museum? Looking at all the wonderful art, seeing all those famous historical names you've heard about in history or art class. You pass by beautiful paintings and stunning stoneworks, but you can't help yourself but to look at this small painting tucked away in the corner of the exhibition. The closer you move to the painting, the more beautiful it gets. And when your nose is practically touching the painting, you see the name of the artist. What? This painting is from a world-renowned artist? And they don't even bother showing it off?
Pokémon Colosseum, ladies and gentlemen.
The first installment of a series of 2 non-mainline Pokémon games, whereof the second one I've already played on this channel. What a cute Skarmory. Jumping into the game, we are put in an opening cutscene where we, the main character, blow a hole in the building of our ex-employer and steal a very important object. The snack machine. All the people in the building run outside as if a fire drill had just occurred, but I'm literally Sonic. I hop in my motorcycle with my partners Espeon and Umbreon, who also happen to be our starter Pokemon in this game. For good measure, we planted a second bomb that explodes as we ride into the sun, off to Outskirts Stand. We're looking to take a rest at this place, after the intense escape. Before we get to enter though, we overhear 2 stylish fellas talking about their big catch. Oh well. Must have been the wind. Once inside, a news broadcast starts playing. Somehow, our actions from literally a few minutes ago have already made it to the news. But enough chilling already. It's time to move on. After exiting the place, some random guy insists on battling us. Now, let me clarify something before we dive into the rest of the game. I suck at battling, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Over the years, I've forgotten so much of the type matchups. I don't know what half of the moves do. I might have as well forgotten what this guy's name is. So my goal for this game is to get better at understanding the ins and outs of Pokémon double battles. Right, back to the battle at hand. Fortunately, this guy only has Zigzagoon, which I know to be normal types. So this fight's nothing to worry about. A Zigzagoon. And one more Zigzagoon. A quick check back in the restaurant leaves me getting borderline S8, which is I guess normal since this game is from 2003. If I were 10 years younger, I'd grab hold and wouldn't leave your side. Reverse the roles, lady! Reverse the roles! What the hell? One trauma richer, we set off to Phoenix City, where we see, once again, these fishermen with their big catch. It doesn't take us long to figure out that there is in fact not a fish inside the bag, but a person. After beating their 2 Wishmer, they run back to their mama, and we get to see what's inside the bag. It's a girl who claims to have some sort of special powers. She asks to stay with us for a while so she doesn't get kidnapped again. So she joins the party. I name her after my own beautiful wife, and we're off to the mayor of the town to ask for some help. I got stuck in this game, right, as a child, and I remember, like, when I didn't know what to do, I was just fuck blocking this cast form, like, the whole day. Exiting the mayor's house is his friendly friend, who will definitely not show up later. The mayor tells us he will look into it, and urges us to take part in the Colosseum in town. Can I go upstairs? We can go upstairs. Hello, ma'am. Oh, hi. Aren't you a cute guy? Why is everyone sexually harassing me in this game? It must be nice to travel with a cute girlfriend and my girl. So, with even the mayor's wife harassing minors, we move over to the town's pre-gym. A sort of school for aspiring trainers. We fight off against 4 different trainers whose name all have some sort of pun. Well, at least the first 2. Cool trainer Botan. I feel like if you have to announce that you're cool, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. Hey, I see what they're doing with the name. Botan? Botanic? Licky. Ah. Hey, I get it. Now, what can be next? Dugo. Lady Gwyn. Birds? I still don't know what Dugo and Gwyn mean, or maybe they just gave up halfway. If you know, please let me know. Justy, the gym leader, tells us to come back once we have 6 Pokemon in our party. So we check out the Colosseum first. But we are stopped by our ex-colleagues. They don't quite appreciate the fact that we stole the one single item they need to keep their business running. So they're desperate to get it back. I realize the Snag'em member that duels me in the game is the same one that's later seen in Pokemon XD, and similarly to his performance in that game, he absolutely gets made fun of. His Koffing gets taken out by a super effective confusion, and the Corvus only takes 2 bites to finish off. Right after he deals a whopping 8 damage, including a crit by the way. Elena now figures out we're kinda not a good guy, but we're good enough for her since we rescued her. She suggests we buy some Pokeballs. So we enter the shop here. Weirdly enough, I can't find them. I walk around and ask people, but no one seems to sell them. See, I've played this game as a child before, but I've never got to finish it because I got stuck at some point. I was young and I just didn't know English yet. So during this playthrough, I kept thinking, is this where I got stuck back then? But luckily, we find someone who tells us Pokeballs are sold at Outskirts stand. Of course, common knowledge, right? With some Pokeballs in my pocket, we return to Phoenix, only to find the city invaded by criminals. Boys, I shall make my return to play right now. Do remember that I'll be waiting for you to return with the little lady. Am I making myself clear? I won't accept failure from you again, boys. Let the music spin, let's get it on. Mirror B, the absolute diva he is, leaves his goons to fight me again. Once again, I beat them without a sweat. But one of them carries an interesting Pokémon, a Shadow Pokémon. With the help of Elena's special powers, she can identify which ones are Shadow Pokémon, that we can then steal with our snack machine. Could steal with the snack machine. If I don't forget, Psychic is super effective against fighting. Wait, let me check my... Oh yeah, Psychic's super effective. Yeah. The city's exits are now guarded by 3 different peons. You can only choose one to battle and capture their Shadow Pokémon. I choose Quilava. No particular reason, he's just cool. Before moving to Pirate Town, we make a quick pit stop in this newly opened area in the middle of the desert where they're building a new Colosseum. Just a random encounter with no reason whatsoever. Pirate Town has been having some issues with their crime rates, but the person in charge, Duking, doesn't seem all too eager to do something about it. So we decide to do some research on our own. After battling around, eventually this guy lets us know Shadow Pokémon are being handed out to winners of the Colosseum in town. Also, this guy turns out to be not so friendly after all. Shocker. Then, Duking's right-hand Silva has had enough of Duking's omission and takes matters into own hand. He steals a gear from the generators and leaves the city without power. The police chief begs us to find it, and of course we say yes. But then it begins to dawn on me. I've played all of this before, but finding a gear does not sound familiar to me. This is it. This is the point I got stuck on when I was 7 years old. And just like then, I run around. It's not here, it's not in Outskirts Stand, not in Phoenix City, not in this guy's roller skate, until... This is the gear? This is what you're supposed to look for. Oh well. With the generator now repaired, we can enter into the Colosseum challenge, which I end up winning. We get invited to this building where the baddies are operating from. Duking joins us and finally lets go while he isn't doing anything. His hands are tied. The bad guys kidnapped his Plusle. But we don't need Duking. We can take everyone on ourselves. Atop the building, we find Silva taken by new thugs of Mirror B. If you're wondering where the other 2 are, they're in jail right now. After taking the new ones down, we get invited by Mirror B to his dancing cave. I'm traumatized from Pokemon XD. I'm just expecting people to jump from the ceiling at any given moment. Wait, what's... Yeah, woo! It's about time, darlings! Can you tell he really loves Ludicolo? They're easily taken out by some confusions and some bites. He throws a little baby rage and eventually dashes away. Behind the door, we can hear Plusle's cry. We take him back to Duking's office. He's very glad Plusle is okay, but Plusle seems to be wanting to join us. Sure, Plusle, you're welcome to join and sit in the PC for the rest of the game. On the way out of Pirate Town, the local crazy woman gives us some wisdom to go north from here, where Elena's grandparents also happen to live. Coincidence? I think not. The village where he lives is called Agate. We catch up with her grandparents, but there is no time since someone has intruded the Relic Forest, a place where Shadow Pokémon can get their heart gauges reopened once more. Egan and his Pikachu, who is built like a 60-year-old mom, take on the intruder but fail. Guess I'll do it again. Jesus. The Relic Stone in the forest has been imbued with mystical powers of Celebi, allowing the purification to happen.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
I'm starting to wonder why Juking is even in charge, since he always needs help from me. But alas, let's check out what's going on over there. Mount Battle is being attacked by the same group Mirror B was a part of. Mount Battle is this dungeon-like battling challenge where you can battle up to 100 trainers back to back for prizes and of course XP. Arriving at the 10th battle, it's not Vander, the usual area leader, but this tall, muscled, red-haired man. He's forcing Vander to hand over some sort of item, but Vander refuses. Then he also wants to pound us, so we take him on. Cypher admin Dakim leads with Matang and Marshtomp, while I send out Espeon and Yanma. I go first with Yanma and use attack to protect myself and be faster next turn, which I just realized doesn't matter anymore since Yanma is already the fastest in battle, but hey, the intention was good, am I right? A Psybeam from Espeon puts Marshtomp in yellow, and surprisingly enough, Matang finishes off its own ally with an Earthquake, also doing little damage to Espeon, and Yanma is immune. His newly sent out Pokemon Camerupt uses Protect, so it denies both my Psybeam and another Earthquake from Matang, as does Yanma. He's not going to do it again. The Matang uses Protect and dodges my attack, while Yanma feints to a Flamethrower. I send in Umbreon, thinking the Camerupt is going to protect, while Matang sends out another Earthquake. I tried to take the Matang out before that, but I forget normal moves are not quite effective against Steel. I don't succeed. The Camerupt then takes out Espeon. I send out Quilava, but already replace it with Swablu the turn after. Fortunately for me, because they make another Earthquake Protect play. It barely hurts Umbreon, as later I finally take out the Matang with a crit bite. Dakim's next Pokemon is a Golem, but I tried to take out the Camerupt first, which I fail, ending up with Slugman dying. Next turn, Umbreon takes him out and Dakim reveals his final Pokemon. But not just any Entei, a Shadow Entei, one that we can snag. From here on out, I start to use Umbreon's Confuse Ray on Entei, which will turn out to be the best move I could have ever pulled. With the Golem also still alive, my Swablu falls to a double edge, but I swiftly hit it back with a bite of my own. I send out Quilava again and start spamming smoke screens to buy more time. At this point, I revive Slugma, who can use Yawn on Entei. A few more attacks from my side bring it into red health, and it finally falls asleep to the Yawn, turning the capture rate to 4.4%. Luckily for me, it stays asleep for a few turns, and it only takes a few Ultra Balls to catch it. Monkey Man jumps away out of shame and leaves behind an F-Disc, and Vander hands us the Time Flute, the item the other guy was here for. The Time Flute can be used a single time to purify a Pokemon without first having to lower its heart gauge. So we use it on our newly caught Entei and give him an appropriate name. Big Dog. Big Dog. Mirror B's second array of goons have also been caught now, and we're sent to check them out. One of them has an elevator key, which can be used on an old elevator in the hidden building in Pyrite, leading to the Under, an old mining town below Pyrite. A public broadcast starts playing, letting the citizens know there are 2 spies in town. The speaker, Venus, is another member of Cypher, and our next target. Before we enter the Under Colosseum though, we meet a group of radicalized kids who happen to be quite big fans of us. They say they will help us with communication and exchange PDA numbers. Oh, how the victim has become the offender. Stepping outside their hideout, there are screams of citizens when the spy has appeared to be arrested. It's Silva again, Juking's right hand. We talk to him through the fence, and with the item he hands us, we can take the UFO that leads to the studio where Venus is hidden. Once again, I lead with Espeon and Yanma. Venus throws out a Delcatty and a Steelix. This time, I do remember normal is bad against steel, so I don't use return. If that's not improvement, I don't know what is. A Psybeam leaves Delcatty below half HP, but a Rock Slide from Steelix barely doesn't take out Yanma. I decide to make it a bit easier for myself and swap Yanma for Umbreon, also taking out Delcatty on the same turn. Her next Pokemon is Banette, who manages to feint Espeon with a Shadow Ball. I choose Entei as my next Pokemon, not anticipating the Earthquake that's about to come from Steelix, but also takes out the Banette. Entei misses the Fire Blast on the newly introduced Pokemon Vileplume and falls to another Earthquake. So instead, I send in Typhlosion, who uses Flame Wheel, leaving Vileplume just in the red zone, but does get burned, taking it out at the end of its turn. This Cypher admin also has a last trick up her sleeve, a Suicune. Fortunately for me, I crafted the perfect team to capture this majestic Pokemon. With the same strategy as with Entei, I bring it into red health and make it fall asleep, right after critting the Steelix off the field. And the strategy is flawless, seeing as the first ball we throw finishes the job. So far, every criminal has either run or jumped away, so Venus follows that trend. However, this time we get to follow, as she tries to take a train leading to the Mystery Lab. Unfortunately, she doesn't want to lead us there, so she tricks us and runs away again. Fortunately, she drops the train key, so we can drive ourselves. Unfortunately, these 2 Pozos blow up our way in. Fortunately, they drop the main gate key. Wow, it feels great to walk in here knowing that no one's gonna drop from the ceiling. Oh, it feels great. Well, I've been here before. Wait, this door opens. Just a little bit later, we encounter a dead end. At least if I can't open this door. But it's possible, there's a lock on it. I need to enter 3 different Pokemon to unlock the door. Thankfully, I did get an idea which 3. Earlier in the lab, I found 3 different DNA samples. That of Raikou, Suicune, and a corrupted one. So of course, that's not too hard. We run back to the lock and enter Raikou, Suicune, and Croconaw. Cool. We've now reached the end of the lab and there's one man waiting for us. Ein, the last Cypher admin. I'll spare you 2 minutes of my horrible gameplay this time. By now, you know the strat. Smokescreen, Sing, Ultra Ball, easy peasy, next fight. Okay, I might have choked this one, but I swear the second attempt was better. No, I'm serious, there's no joke here. I capture his Raikou and move on. In the lab, we also find a data ROM that we bring back to Ned in the Under. He'll work on decoding it and he'll get back to us later. Remember the little construction site filled with trauma? It's finished now, and we can invite it to take part in the Realgam Colosseum. To my surprise, there's 4 very familiar trainers waiting for me. All the previous Cypher admins are waiting to get their revenge, but I don't let them. Okay, Venus might have beat me once, but if I don't show you, you'll never know if it actually happened or not. In the meantime, we complete 2 little side quests. One being a visit to Egon. He gives us a Master Ball, which he just has lying around for some reason, but hey, I'll take it. I'm not saying no to generational wealth. Rich grandpa-in-law? Sign me up, baby. The second side quest is a battle against Justy, who told us to come back once we had 6 Pokemon. That was also about 20 hours of gameplay ago. So needless to say, that wasn't much of a challenge. At this moment in time, my party consists of Espeon, Umbreon, Typhlosion, Altaria, and Yanma. All this time, I've been trying to make Yanma work, but I just can't figure out if it's actually good or not. So with pain in my heart, I replace it with a recently caught Vibrava. The Vibrava hasn't been purified yet, and still needs a few more levels to evolve. Training Arc! Last Hope is evolving! Yippee! Flygon. Now that we've beat all the admins, we can open the door to the actual Colosseum. The man that's guarding the elevator up is actually Silva, who lets us through, leading us upstairs where we finally come face to face with NASCAR again, the Cypher boss. But he wants to battle in the Colosseum, so takes the elevator up. So we plan to do the same. But instead, we get a bit of an awkward reunion with my ex-employer. But you know, there's a reason I quit. This guy is no match for me. Although his Skarmory is by far the hardest Pokemon to catch, taking me up to 25 Ultra Balls. But finally, with everyone out of the way, we take the final elevator upstairs into the Colosseum, ready to face the final boss. There's 3 other people I have to beat first. And then, eventually we get to fight NASCAR. Comparing it with all the previous rematches of the admins, this one is one of the easier ones. And we don't even have to use our Master Ball in the Metagross. So yeah, then a surprising face shows up, the Mayor of Phenac, who is actually the final boss of Cypher. Well, this shouldn't be too hard, right? He's got level 60 Pokemon. My highest level is 49. This battle is a tough pill to swallow, but with enough water, I eventually get it down my throat. But that slacking of his is nasty, especially with the skill swap Slowking. After beating him, all the Avengers arrive and the police chief takes in the mayor, and we get blasted by these beautiful Pokemon. That's Aura. Pokémon Colosseum. After finishing the main storyline, we get offered a post-game. Ned, who had been researching the data ROM, keeps sending us updates and news as long as we get more Shadow Pokemon. For example, he finds out there's a trainer with a Shadow Bayleaf and sent us a location, along with those of the Shadow Pokemon we didn't manage to capture the first time. Most of the trainers who still possess a Shadow Pokemon hang out at the Snag'em base, as well as some Cypher members that have re-emerged from the Mystery Lab. But more importantly, we get our hands on a new disc for the UFO in the Under. Before this, we had the forward disc, the right disc, and even the up disc, where we found a second time flute. But the new disc brings us down, opening a whole new Colosseum that we've never even heard of before. At the same time, Ned lets us know someone else with a Shadow Pokemon has been spotted in the Deep Colosseum. I wonder who that could be. But he's not even that interesting. After beating Mirror B for the millionth time, Ned tells us there is someone who goes by the name of Deep King, who also uses shadow Pokemon. Turns out he just had a cool shadow shuckle for us to catch. It only took me about 2 hours of battling to get there, no problem. Now, with the help of Ned, we've caught every shadow Pokemon in the game. But it turns out there's actually one more remaining. We receive a mail. Not from Ned this time, but from Dash, the guy who runs in circles around the fountain in Phoenix. He claims that we attacked him, and only a few seconds later, we tune into the news where a live feed is being shown of someone with a shadow Pokemon. And that someone is me? Apparently I'm attacking someone at Outskirts 10, so we rush over. We find someone who looks exactly like me, but turns out to be another Cypher member trying to ruin my reputation. This guy has the last shadow Pokemon in the game, a Togetic. With the battle now behind us, we've officially caught all shadow Pokemon in the game, and we can call the game finished. I mean, I guess there's some other things I could do, like doing all the Colosseums or even completing Mount Battle, but that's gonna take way too much time. So that actually concludes Pokémon Colosseum. Even though this game did not have the nostalgia factor that Gale of Darkness had for me, I still really enjoyed this game. Perhaps even more than Gale of Darkness. And I'm genuinely kinda sad that it's over. But fortunately, there's many more nostalgic Pokémon games left, and I'm excited to play the next one.